Today, I'm going to show you how I made and painted this Oscar to commemorate one of the ones that I lost out of this tank behind me a few weeks ago. And if you stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll share with you how this could be yours. All right, so my beautiful wife, Lisa, bought me a 3D printer for Christmas. And I got to be honest with you, I've gone a little bananas ever since then. I've done like 12 models with this thing, and I've been having so much fun. Basically, every minute of spare time I have, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm printing things and painting them. It's been a whole thing. I love it so much. And I was thinking, how could I combine that with my other passion, which is fish keeping? And that is where I came up with this idea here. And it just so happened to be not long after the catastrophe happened in this tank behind me. So I decided I'm going to make an Oscar to commemorate that guy. I'm going to show you the entire process today. And again, I'm going to tell you at the end of the video how this one could be yours. I'm going to give this away to one lucky subscriber, and it's the only one in existence. It's a one of one. There's no one else that's ever going to have this right here. I promise you. And when you watch the video, you'll understand what I mean by that. I didn't just go buy this at the store and paint it. No, this is, let me just show you. All right, so this project starts off on a website called Maker World. This is a really cool site to get STL files for 3D printing. I really like the idea of this Sopranos thing here. It looks really cute. And if I hadn't already done two Batmans, I would consider doing that one. But the real reason why we're here is for this tab right here, which is Maker Lab. There's all different kinds of things on here. And the one that I came here for is this new feature here that they have, which is Image to 3D, which is very cool. All you do is you take your file, you drop it into here, and it renders it as a 3D model. Now, the image that I used to create this 3D model was from a screenshot from some older footage that I had of this Oscar. And I took that screenshot, put it into this, and this is what it came up with. It did it very fast, and here it is. I mean, it's a 3D model of that image of the Oscar. I'm not really sure where all this texture came from here, but it wasn't a problem. It worked out in the end. I don't know, it just kind of makes it even look more realistic. But you know, this is one of those things that is powered by AI, so you kind of get what you get. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, I've tried with some other things. I'm trying to do one of my beagle. I tried to do one of a biker. It didn't work out as well with any of those other images, but with this one, it worked out pretty good. So I was able to export this as an STL file and then take it over to my software to get ready for printing. So here is the Oscar loaded up into my slicing software here, which I use Orca Slicer, and it looked really good. This is really cool. And I created this little base. It's just created from a cube in the software. I put KGTropicals.com on there with a little post in the center for mounting the fish. And well, let me just say this. Well, it didn't work out all that well. So I gotta be honest, this is all still very new to me, and I'm sure I made mistakes that led to this, but for whatever reason, the base on this design here kept failing. The fish was printing fine, but the base kept detaching from the printer bed. I don't know why that kept happening. I changed up the settings, I changed temperatures, I did all kinds of things. I changed the orientation, and it failed 3 times, and 3 times was enough for me. So I gave up on that design, and I went back to Maker World, and I found this base here, which I thought was nice enough. It's a nice rocky looking round base, and it's perfect for this scenario. I don't want the base to stand out. I want the fish to stand out. So this is a base that's nice enough without being too nice. I don't know if that makes sense, but I put the new base design into the slicer and I started working with it. I resized it to be appropriate to the size of the fish and then oriented everything and got it ready for printing. But I did need to be able to attach the fish to the base. And so I ended up printing out this small post. I don't even know how big it is, and I, to be honest, didn't know if it was going to print or not, or if it was going to fall over, but it actually did end up printing extremely well. Everything printed out really well on the very first try once I put in this new base, and then we were just ready to go to the next step. I gotta tell you, this 3D printing thing is crazy. It's like magic when it works, because you didn't screw it up. Now, what you're watching here is a time lapse. This was a process that took about 2.5 hours to print this out entirely. But of course, through the magic of editing, we can show the entire process in a very short period of time. And for those that are curious, because you maybe are 3D printers and you're enthusiasts like me, you might be wondering what kind of printer this is. It is the FlashForge Adventurer 5M. This is the one that Lisa bought me for Christmas, and I love it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I've gone a little crazy with this thing. I have printed out so many 1/6 scale models that you would think I have a problem and I might need to be institutionalized. I've done like 5 Supermans, including one for my nephew. I did 2 Spider-Mans, one also for my grandson. I did a little Green Bay Packers guy for my other son. I did a Dementor for my daughter. I've done Voldemort, 2 Batmans, a Wonder Woman, a Pennywise, Deadpool. I've done so many models. I've gone completely nuts. And this printer has done extremely well for all of them. Lisa made a great choice with this printer. She bought it not knowing if it was going to be something that I'd even be interested in or not. If she only knew. So to get this ready for paint, the first thing I had to do was, well, I had to glue the fin back on because I dropped it and the fin broke off. Luckily, I was able to find it, and super glue cures really fast, so it didn't slow me down at all. I drilled a hole in the base and the fish to put in that post, which fit very, very well and holds the fish on there really secure. I glued the post into the fish so that I could attach a little alligator clip on it and give me something to hold on to while I paint it, and away we go. It's ready to paint. Now, the interesting thing about this whole hobby for me is this is actually my favorite part, the painting part. I enjoy the 3D printing process. It's a lot of fun and it's really cool. Like I said before, it's like magic, but it's the painting that I absolutely love. It is my favorite part. So with this fish, the very first thing that needed to be done was it needs primer put on it. Primer just helps the paint stick. You can't even really tell that anything's happening right now because I printed this fish with black filament and then I'm spraying on it black primer. So doesn't really make a huge difference, but it's there. And of course, I sprayed the same black primer onto the base to get it all ready for the base coat. Now for that base color, if you look at the reference photo, you'll see that this fish was very gray. Yes, he has some black markings on him, but he was very gray. So I painted him gray. But the color is actually called black gray. It's from Vallejo. I've used this color a few times before and it works great. It's a super, super dark gray. Not quite gray, not quite black. It's black gray. For the base, I used a color called Flat Earth. This is a color I do not like. I don't like it at all because when I spray it, it ends up looking like baby diarrhea. But it's something that with shading and dry brushing and all of that kind of stuff that we will do later, it ends up looking really good. It just looks terrible right off the gun. I remember quite vividly back in the 90s, my sister worked for a company called the Workshops of Gerald E. Henn. And one of the things that they sold like crazy was dishes that were painted with sponge painting. Sponge painting was all the rage back in the 90s. And when I saw the splotchiness on the side of this Oscar, I said, that's the only way I'm really going to be able to achieve that type of splotchiness. I don't know what else to call it. So I ran to Hobby Lobby and I bought these sponges, and I used a color called Troll Slayer Orange from Citadel. This is a particular paint brand that I really, really like, mainly because they have all the colors in the world, and there's a store down the road from me where all the nerds go to buy their Warhammer stuff that sells all of these paints, so I can get it pretty easily. Now, while I was sponge painting the sides of this fish, I did look at the reference photo and I kind of went back and forth. I had it up on my computer, and I mean, it's a random pattern. It's not really something that I can absolutely duplicate, nor was I really trying to, but it was fun. I mean, I don't know, it's something different. You're just kind of dabbing it in the orange color and dabbing it onto the fish, and where it goes, it goes. And it leaves the cool little orangey, splotchy Troll Slayer orange pattern. I don't know. Once I was happy with the orange splotches, I used a hairdryer that I stole from Lisa many, many years ago and dried that orange off, and then did the exact same process with just straight black. Again, looking at the reference photos, he's got very, very distinct orange blotches as well as distinct black splotches. Now, I was a little bit nervous that the black might be too black, too dark, but it ended up working out in the end. This was probably my favorite part of the whole process. It was a lot of fun. I felt like I was kind of in third grade again, just blotching paint everywhere. But hey, it's what the project called for, so it worked out. Now, we did still have a little bit of sponge painting to do, and for this color, it would have been the final color, which is like a bluish, greenish, grayish, tannish color. I don't even know what to call it, but the problem was I ran out of my green paint when I did my little Green Bay Packer statue for my son, so had to mix up my own green. We remember the Ziploc commercials, don't we? Yellow and blue make green. That's what I did. I mixed a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. That came up with a green. And then I also mixed in a color from Vallejo that's called Deck Tan. This is like a bluish, grayish, greenish, whitish color. That's the one you see right there. Again, I don't even know how to describe it. That's going to lighten it up significantly. And I also added some natural gray. So eventually, you know, with some trial and error and some mixing and ending up with way more paint than I needed, I got the color exactly the way I wanted it. And just like the other colors with the sponge, I splotched it all over the place. Now on to the best part. This is where things really start to come together, and it starts to make this actually look like a real fish, not just something a kindergartner put together. It's time to do the highlights. I love this part, one of my absolute favorite things to do. And most of the time when you find me doing highlights, I'm going to be using the dry brush technique, which is exactly what you see me doing. That is taking a color, loading it onto the brush, but then wiping almost all of it off, and then very lightly rubbing it over the surface, and it just catches the edges. And that's what causes those highlights. Some areas, like the area you see me working on there, where it's like the fish's chin, that area is very, very light on the reference photo. So I really went heavy with that. It's more of a brushing than it is dry brushing. I don't know if that makes sense, but for the fins and for the sides of the eyeballs and the lips, that was dry brushing. And the color that I use is, again, that Deck Tan color, one of my favorite colors to use to do highlights. Now for the final bits of highlights, and for this I do go with just straight white. The Deck Tan is more of a gray color. You can see them on my paper next to each other. it is significantly darker than white. And so to get that very last little bit of highlights, just the extreme parts of the edges and things like that, I went with the straight white. This is where I'm going very, very light. Again, this is just to be the tips of the areas that I'm trying to highlight. Everywhere where I went through with the deck tan, I'm going to come back through again with the white, but I'm just barely touching it, just the slightest bit, just to catch those highlights. All right, it's time to bring this home. Let's do the eyeballs. And for the eyeballs, if you look at the reference photo again, he has kind of a goldish eye. I was not going to paint this with a metallic gold. That would have looked ridiculous. So for this, I went back to Baby Diarrhea, and it worked out really, really well for that outer part. I guess would be considered the sclera for the fish. I don't know. That's what it's called for human beings, but I don't know. I don't know what it's called for fish, but the outer portion of the eye, I used the Baby Diarrhea. And then for the pupils, I went with just straight black because, I mean, every fish in the world, unless they're albino, has black pupils. I could be wrong, but I almost feel like every living thing that has eyes has black pupils. But somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. So the last thing to do with this fish before we can call it done is to seal everything that we've just done in with clear varnish. I used Vallejo satin varnish on this, 2 coats, sealed everything in real nice, and there we go. The fish is done. It's time to take our attention back to the base and make it not look like Baby Diarrhea. So, you want to make a base look less like baby poop, huh? Well, the first thing you're going to do is spray it with a contrast color from Citadel called Sigor Brown. This is another one of my absolute favorite colors. It will dramatically move a color to darker brown, which that's what I wanted here. I didn't want baby poop. That's just, it's not my thing. This Sigor Brown definitely darkened it up. And then to lighten it again, I used dry brushing again with the color Deck Tan again, because Deck Tan is just the best color you've ever seen. I love it. It's absolutely perfect for highlights, and it's gonna highlight those rocks and all of those little ridges and all the little points and all the little things on there. But then we have to darken it up once again, and to do that, I used yet another Citadel shade color, which is called Drakenhof Nightshade. This is a blue shading paint. It's very transparent, so it's not going to just turn everything dark blue, but it's going to tint everything blue. It's going to darken it up and also give it a blue tint to it. I don't know how much of that is going to show on video, but when you see the finished product, you will see a very rich, very dark blue without it being overpowering blue. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It's just blue. It's a bluish color, but it's like a natural blue, if there is such a thing. With everything dry, guess what? This project is done. An idea I had about a week ago to commemorate one of my favorite fish that I've ever owned is complete. And I gotta tell you, I could not be happier with this. I'm proud of myself. I didn't know how this was gonna turn out, but I'm as happy as I've ever been with the results from this. If I'm being truthful with you, it's gonna be very difficult to separate myself from this because I didn't make this for me. I made this for the sole purpose of giving it away to one of you. And that makes me very happy. Lisa could tell you that it's more fun for me to do these projects for someone else, like my nephew or my son or my grandson. I'm doing one for a friend right now as we speak. And that makes me so happy to do that, even though it is difficult to part with these, because every single one of these projects, I know it sounds silly, but kind of becomes a part of me. I don't know, you develop a connection with it when you're working on it. I don't know how artists, like real artists, can separate from their work. I don't know how they can do it, because it really does become a part of you. And this fish definitely did that with me. Not only did I have the animal for years, and he was a huge part of my life, but now this is also a part of my life. And again, I understand it's cheesy, but it's true. This is a really important piece to me. And it's also really important to me to give it away to one of you. Because listen, I make a living creating content on the internet and selling products to people who watch that content and they go to our website and they order products and stuff like that. So this is how I make my living. I look for ways of giving back to you. And even though it's only one person that's going to get this, because I'm only ever making one, it's still giving back. It might just be to one person, but it's giving back nonetheless. And that makes me really happy. So there you go. This was so much fun to do. I got to be honest with you. And this Oscar turned out so much better than I expected it to. I don't know. I mean, this is something that's still pretty new to me. I'm not new to painting, but doing something like this is new to me. I'm not an artist. So this was all kind of trial and error, and it really worked out with this fish. I'm super happy with it. And hopefully the recipient of this will also be happy. So here's what you have to do. It's very simple. It's just like any other YouTube giveaway you've ever seen. Be a subscriber to this channel and comment on this video. I'm going to give it 7 days after the upload of this video, and I'm going to randomly pick a comment using an app. I'm not going to just scroll through and say, I like that one and pick that. No, I'm going to use an app to pick a winner of this, and that person is going to get contacted by me, and I'm going to send this to them. And I'm not going to make another one because I want this one to be the one. And I want somebody out there, hopefully somebody that's been a longtime follower of KGTropicals, gets this and puts this on their shelf. And every time they see it, they think about Oscars. I don't know. That got real weird. So again, comment on the video. I need to stop swinging this thing around. I'm going to drop it, and then this whole thing is going to be wasted. Be a subscriber. Comment on the video. That's all. That qualifies you to win this. I don't care where you live. I will ship it to you anywhere in the world, and I will cross my fingers that it doesn't get damaged in shipping. I'll wrap it in bubble wrap and do all of that. It should be completely fine, and I can't wait to hear the reaction of the winner. Hopefully it's somebody that really appreciates it and is not, I don't know, what am I even trying to say? It doesn't matter. Listen, I want to take this opportunity to thank our channel members. I can't even express to you how valuable our channel members are to us right now. We are trying to do as much as we can for channel members. Lisa has been doing updates in the fish room almost daily for channel members, and it's awesome. And of course, channel members also automatically qualify for 5% off at KGTropicals.com or KeepFishKeeping.com. They both go to the same place, but we got KGTropicals back. So if you go to our website, if you are a channel member, you get 5% off. It's not an automatic thing. You do have to put in a code, and I send a new code on the first of the month, every single month, by way of the community page on the YouTube channel. So if you're a channel member, make sure you check that, get that code, put it in the box at checkout, get 5% off just for being a member. Think about that. If you get a membership, it's $5 a month. Everybody is the same. And if you're going to buy a filter or something, you might save more than that on your very first purchase. It's a no-brainer. So anyway, I'm going to repeat myself again. This was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed it. It worked out really well. If you liked this and you want to see me do more fish, let me know. I'm not going to do a video on the KGTropicals channel of finishing up that flash that I showed you. That would be catastrophic for this channel, but I could do more fish. We could do betas. We could do all kinds of stuff. It'd be a lot of fun. If you want to see that, put it down in the comments, and guess what? Put that down in the comments, you're automatically entered to win this guy. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was so much fun. I can't wait to do another one. But anyway, bye.